Hello, you lovely lot, and welcome to the third and final part of the Keep Sell miniature series, I guess you want to call it. Obviously, you've seen hopefully everyone who's watching this has seen parts 1 and 2 at this point. So, in part 1, I covered goalkeepers and defenders. In part 2, I covered midfielders specifically, just because midfielder is an area that we are, and I'm talking just central midfielders. I haven't included the wide players or anything. That's going to be included here. It was just to kind of spread it out in midfielders. There was so many options to choose from. So those are the first two parts. And on this part, we're going to choose the wide players. So it could be wide midfielders or whatever. And of course, strikers. So I'll not waste any more time. Let's get into this. Right, okay. So the first option in the forward wide positions that I've selected for this video, Chris Maguire. Now, this is a funny one because Chris Maguire, for me, is a very frustrating player because I do think that Maguire technically is one of the better players in this division. I think he is a top 6 League One player, definitely. The problem is when he goes missing, he goes really missing, and I know that's probably people can say, oh, well, that's because you're in League One, that's the type of calibre of player that you're going to have. Yeah, that might be true, don't get us wrong, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't want consistency consistency on a good level from your players, not a crap level. I think that Maguire's one that divides opinion a lot. I do like Maguire, and I think I'll definitely keep him. But remember, he's on the verge of 31 now, so I think he's only got probably another 1 or 2 seasons really left in him if we're going to get any use out of him. I would keep Maguire, but I'd like to see him start, when he produces good performance, keep them going for a long run of games, not just go missing for half the season. Aidan McGeady, who of course is on loan at Championship side Charlton, well, currently Championship side Charlton, we don't know what's going to happen with the season, but at the minute, he's on loan at Charlton, Aidan McGeady. And this is a funny one because me personally, in terms of quality level, I would keep Aidan McGeady because I do believe he is a top 2 League One player. I believe he is at least easily one of the best players in the league. I think that whether he's the best is obviously up for debate, but I definitely think he's one of the best. But in saying that, though, obviously, we know what happened with the whole Parkinson situation. We know that they well, by the sounds of it, didn't see eye to eye. This is allegedly, again, by the way. I don't know how much truth there is in this, but McGeady, obviously, apparently, allegedly did not get on with Phil Parkinson at all, and obviously that was the main reason we let him go out on loan. Now, if it is true, if this is true, that he was causing a bad apple amongst the players and wasn't particularly happy working with anyone, then fine, sell, get rid, get lost. There's no excuse for him to be a troublemaker like he was. It's just a shame though, because when you watch Sunderland Die Season 2 though, and again at the end of last season he was playing with like a pin injections in his foot, so it's a shame it's come to this really. I think in terms of McGeady, I would only sell him if you could probably get like at least 500 to 750,000 for him, or even push for $1 million, to be honest. That might be out there, that might be a bit like much, but I think that's a fair valuation of McGeady's level ability, and obviously bearing in mind he is 33, 34, so that's why I didn't ask for multiple million. But I think for McGeady, if he's not going to be part of Parkinson's plans, then sell. Simple as that. Oh, Lyndon Gooch. Lyndon Gooch is another one like Maguire, is frustrating, but kind of for different reasons. I think that whereas Maguire's got the technical ability, whereas I'd like to see him show more consistency. I'd like to see Gooch show more consistency. I mean, I think Gooch's work rate is almost second to none. I get that he loves the club. He can tell that he loves Sunderland at his core, and I can tell that he really deeply cares about the club. However, my annoying thing is, apart from the 3-month period between like back end of December and say back end of February, in those 2 months where Gooch came in when we did really well, when we were punching at our weight basically, Gooch was probably an instrumental part of that. The problem for me is that apart from that period, and yes, granted he's been out injured for a month, at least a month and a half or 2 months, but second half of last season, and particularly recently in the last few games we played, Gooch has been anonymous. He's been completely anonymous, and I would definitely keep Gooch for the squad level, because I think Gooch could be a good impact coming off the bench. But for me, Gooch, I'd like to see more from him. I'd like to see his, like I said, one of the key things for me is that I think his game intelligence has to improve. It's got to start improving to a good level, because there's a couple of times when he keeps hold of the ball, he dribbles and dribbles and dribbles and dribbles, doesn't pass the ball when he should do, and so if he can improve that, he could be a hell of a player. But obviously, again, would he be in League One playing for us then? Possibly not. For now, keep Gooch, but if a big offer came in for Gooch, I wouldn't be adverse to getting rid of him. But as long as we adequately replaced him and improved upon him. Duncan Watmore, get rid of. And it's a shame really to say this, because I think Duncan Watmore's a player who should be tearing this league up. But unfortunately, injuries have just plagued him. He's not the same player. He's still got a little bit of pace, but he's lost a bit of quite a good yard or two of pace from what he was like 3-4 years ago. And it's a shame really, because again, Watmore, you'll never find such a nicer bloke. Ian Watmore as well on Twitter, lovely guy. I wish them both the success, but unfortunately, with Watmore's wages, what you're paying, you're not getting the return that you should be. So unfortunately, Watmore, love you to bits, son, as an attitude, as a person, but I think he's got to go. Right, now we move on to the strikers. So, I'll start with the lone striker first, Antoine Semenyo. I'd have him on loan for another season, possibly, because I think if we maybe nurtured him a bit and improved his finishing a bit, and actually get him a bit more of a touch in front of goal and maybe stopped playing him as a wide player, then I think he could be useful. So for now, I would keep and loan him for another season if Bristol City were prepared to, or if we even wanted to get him again. Benji Kimpioka, get rid of, because, and I know that he's got a bit of pace about him, but I think when he has played, he hasn't shown an awful lot. I know that I keep saying with other youth players, if you're not going to give them a fair chance, how are you going to know if they're good? So apologies that I've contradicted myself a bit there. But I think the main reason I say get rid of is because I think he's doing exactly what Josh Madger did. He's screwing the club around, and he's by simply not signing the contract. And we've tried to get him a contract. And for me, if he's not going to sign a contract, then there's absolutely no point having him here. So get rid of. And then we move on to the three main strikers. So the first one, Kyle Lafferty, keep. He showed more in 2 games for me than what Charlie Wyke has for a good number of games before then. So keep Kyle Lafferty, obviously for another year, maybe 2-year deal at most, but I'd keep Lafferty. I think he could do a job in League One. Charlie Wyke, I kind of, like I said with Conor McLaughlin in part 1, I do think that Charlie Wyke is someone that I have probably been guilty of scapegoating. I like Charlie Wyke's work ethic, and it's the sole reason that I put him ahead of James, because I was talking with mates about who's the worst striker since I've started supporting Sunderland, and I put James Vaughan, mainly because Charlie Wyke is not a douchebag, whereas James Vaughan is. But I think both of them technically are rubbish. I think again, for the physique that Charlie Wyke's got, gets beaten in the air too easily, he gets pushed off the ball too easily, his touch in front of goal is useless, his touch in terms of like when the ball comes off him, rolls about probably 2-3 yards away from him. It's a shame, really. I like his work ethic, and I can tell that I really want it to work for him, but I just don't think Charlie Wyke's good enough. I haven't thought he's good enough for about a year, to be honest. So there you go. And the final one, William Grigg. Now this is the challenging one for me. Will Grigg should be good enough, and it boils my blood a little bit when people keep levelling the Will Grigg thing at Stuart Donald, because I don't think that's a fair argument. In terms of what we paid for him, yes, but again, we're only saying that because of hindsight. I think for me, Grigg is someone who should easily have been worth the money, and I think we then need to try and adapt the system to the way that he plays. But if we're going to get a good offer for him and he's not going to be useful for us, you might as well sell him. And and we're not going to get anywhere near what we paid. But there you go. If we can find a way to accommodate him within the side, fair enough. But if we're going to have Will Grigg, you've got to fit to the way he plays, because that could get Will Grigg scoring on form, and a Will Grigg on form could be the difference. So that is it, guys. That's my attempt at going through the Sunderland squad. Apologies if I missed anybody out. Let me know in the comments below what you think, whether you agree or disagree. Apologies I've gone on a bit longer than I probably intended. I was going to try and get these videos to be 5 to 6 minutes, but this one's already gone near 9 minutes. So I'll love yous and leave yous. Remember, everyone, keep safe during this coronavirus pandemic, and stay safe mainly as well. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to, like whether for exercise or shopping or anything essential. So I love yous and leave yous. And if you want me to cover any topics in the weeks to come or whatever, to keep content on this channel going, let me know what you think. Anyway, love yous and leave yous, and take care.